wanted to get someone on who played in the secondary. Who better than Surfer Boy, man? All-American 2007 National Championship, former Rummel Raider, and former LSU Tiger Craig Steltz joins us. How are you, man?
Good. What's going on, man?
Another day, man. So I'll just start the same way I've asked everybody. So you hear Bo's coming back. Your reaction is?
I'm excited. I'm excited for the guys. I'm excited for him to come back, and I'm looking forward to it.
So what was it then about Bo that made him so likable? Because every player I've talked to has been excited about this.
Just his passion for the game. He loves the game, and you could just see that in the way he prepared each week, the way he coached the guys, the way he talked to us each week. Just his passion for the game and his love for the game, it trickles down to the players. And, it was a tremendous coach to play for when I was my time at LSU.
Let's delve into some of the specifics about the defenses that he ran at LSU. What about them made them so successful?
Well, I think a couple things. I think he does a great job of understanding the strengths and weaknesses of each of his players, putting them in a position to be successful. I think it starts there. But then he does have an incredible football mind and game planning and attacking offenses. I was telling people a few years ago that, one of the special things about Coach Bo was his ability to understand, offensive line protection and how they protected in the pass game. And there were so many times where we would argue as a defense who was going to be the blitzer in a certain package because you knew you were going to come free. I mean, the first time they lined up in this formation at this time of the game and he called this call, somebody was going to hit the quarterback in the back of the head. And we would argue, man, it's going to be me this time. Everybody wanted that opportunity to be that blitzer. So he got a tremendous football mind also.
Do you think it's possible that having not been a defensive coordinator since 2007, that any of that could have slipped?
I think as any coach, and as Coach O would tell you, whether you're an offensive mind or a defensive mind, you tend to drift towards that side of the ball. And when my freshman year at LSU, Coach Saban was always with the defense and the defensive backs. And then when Coach Miles came, he was always with the offense, the offensive linemen. And I think Coach O probably drifts towards the defensive line, the defense, as a head coach does. So I think those guys are always involved in it. They're excited about defense. That's their kind of specialty. So I'm sure they're always trying to learn and be a part of that side of the ball.
Craig Steltz is with us, former LSU first-team All-American National Champion in 2007. Part of the reputation Bo has is kind of like the angry, yelling, screaming guy. Okay, so you're laughing. I mean, that's fair, right? I mean,
he's passionate. He's excited to be out there. He's a guy that, gets his players fired up. And I think it's going to be a little different from, Coach Aranda and what we've seen on the sidelines the past few years. But, I tell you what, having an opportunity to play for Coach O and play for Coach Bo, those guys are going to get you ready to play ball. And it would be exciting to play for him.
Why, given the fact that Bo has that personality, right? Very loud, brash, abrasive, however you want to say it. Why is he so likable?
He wants you to be more successful than anybody. He loves and he enjoys his players being successful. He wants to see you, continue to take your talents to the next level and to have an incredible career. So it's just something about that. A guy that just, as a former player, can relate to the guys, especially back in the secondary, being a safety. It was fun to play for him. He was more excited for you. He loved to see guys come off the field after a takeaway or a turnover and making a big play. And just it was just special to play for.
Craig, what about the 3-4, 4-3 conversation? I mean, LSU's obviously been recruiting to run a 3-4 of late. Bo is more of a 4-3 guy. So how easily can they transition if they do decide to run a 4-3 under Bo?
Part of that is the personnel difference. I mean, when you see a 4-3 to a 3-4, sometimes the outside linebackers are bigger guys, because they're coming down a lot of scrimmage. You have a different type of interior D lineman. It'll be interesting to see how he kind of evaluates the strengths and weaknesses of each player and what would fit them best. And, kind of take it through the spring program and kind of see how he handles that. But from 12 years ago, from the defenses that we were playing back then, offenses have evolved, and just now with the RPOs, the run-pass options, defenses has continued to evolve with him. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of what he brings to the table, this year in spring ball.
Do you think that it will be a struggle for Bo Pelini to adapt to those new offenses?
I do not. I mean, he's been around the game, whether it was at Nebraska or Youngstown State. I mean, and those guys continue to keep up and evolve, with the offense and defense as it goes on. I think these guys every year, they don't just watch film on their current opponents. I mean, they're off-season, they're self-scouting, they're learning different new schemes and different ways to attack offenses. So, I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it, and I think he'll do a tremendous job.
You still got the hair?
I still got the hair.
So I saw you at Matuk's event a few months back. You had the hair. Are you ever going to lose it?
I'm gonna enjoy it as long as I can. It's one of those things that doesn't last forever, and so I'm gonna enjoy it as long as I can. I think. Considering
who you're talking to, I think that's such a smart decision. Like, just dude, rock those locks forever, man. Mine started going at 23, and I look longingly at people like you and Hester, and I'm like, God, I hate you so much. I hate you so much. Enjoy it, man. Family's good. Everything good. For those that
family's doing good. Just had an exciting time in New Orleans. With the national championship. What an incredible game and an incredible atmosphere. Having the opportunity to be down there with the guys pregame and with the DBs and be a part of that. Pregame atmosphere was incredible. It's fascinating how LSU continues to every time there's a national championship to be in New Orleans.
Right.
It's I don't know if there's some voodoo magic or something going on, but it's special.
I wish there was somebody who was, a mathematician or an odds maker who could come up literally with what the odds would be that the last 4 times the championship's been in New Orleans, LSU's been in the game. Like it's the odds have to be astronomical against that happening. But you played in the one, obviously the 07 season, and then you got to go to this one and watch as a fan. Compare and contrast it. How was it similar or different?
Man, it was being down there and just in the pregame atmosphere of both teams and just the speed and the size of the players. I know people ask me, man, the guys were huge and just they were moving fast. And man, you played there. You played in the NFL. I'm like, yeah, but I know it's I don't know if guys just getting bigger, faster, stronger, and but just the excitement and the atmosphere of the guys, pregame was incredible, and just. It's hard when you're a player, you're focused on the game. When you used to step across that white line, you're focused on the task at hand. So I don't remember looking around the stands as much, but being a fan on the side, being able to look up in the crowd and see the LSU fans and the band and everybody was awesome. And it's one of the things I told the guys, the few I talked to before the game, was just enjoy it. It's such an incredible atmosphere. Enjoy every moment of it.
And I guess 13 years from now, I'll be calling some of those guys to come on the radio show, and I'll bother them instead of bothering you.
Hopefully it's not another 12, 13 years till we win another national championship. And hopefully they keep it rolling, and man, Tiger Nation's excited.
You're right about that, man. Craig Steltz, a former LSU All-American safety, giving us some perspective on Bo coming back to Baton Rouge. But last thing, what was it like with Bo? I remember he got doused, right, after the championship game. He was going to Nebraska. He gets the Gatorade poured on him. It's his farewell also. Do you remember anything post-game, talking to him, what that was like, going through that whole farewell?
I don't remember the exact conversation.
Yeah.
I just remember he was all in till the end, and that was something that we enjoyed, and just he was all into the end. There was no doubt that, he had both feet planted firmly, with the LSU Tigers to the end of that season. And, looking back, it was an incredible season, incredible time with him. I used to coach he was a tremendous motivator, and just he used to, prior to each game or the Friday nights when we were kind of finalizing our game plan, going over the hand signals with just a little scheme adjustments we would make for that game, he would always have a piece of paper where he was all, very big into reading military books and just different books, and he would always have a quote for us or a story or some way to relate it to our season or the game, and just little things like that are things I remember about him, and just his ability to get guys ready to play that game was incredible.
Great perspective, man. Appreciate a couple of minutes as always. All the best, all right?
All right, thank you, Matt. Take care, guys.